Suspecting a loved one of betrayal, many can reach their limit. While some might choose to break up against such suspicions, others will surrender to the power of fantasies for revenge on the betrayer. But what if these fantasies were to come to life with the help of a katana? This story took place in 2018 in Camas, Washington. The woman, who will be the subject of discussion, lived in a quiet neighborhood in an excellent house. The guy's name was Alex Lovell. The primary passion of 29-year-old Alex was computer games. He spent around 12 to 13 hours a day in front of the computer. Alex took his hobby so seriously that he regularly did exercises for his hands, wrists, and shoulders. He even practiced a special mouse control technique to enhance his effectiveness as a player or gamer. 30-year-old Emily Javier, Alex's girlfriend, did not like his obsession at all. The young couple had been together for 2 years, and during that time, Alex began to allocate less and less time to her, spending more and more time playing games. Naturally, this situation didn't sit well with Emily. Her patience dropped below the critical threshold when Alex decided he wanted to pursue professional gaming. While Emily was somewhat okay with sharing her boyfriend with games, she couldn't come to terms with a gaming competitor. Her resentment knew no bounds when she discovered the Tinder dating app on Alex's phone. This made her extremely suspicious, so when she noticed scratches on his back and red hairs in the shower, whereas her hair was dyed green at the time, she realized that Alex had found another girl. Instead of openly confronting him, convinced he would just deny everything, Emily began to devise a revenge plan that would allow her to get rid of him for good. She contemplated hiring a killer, buying poison, or getting a gun. No. She went to a shopping mall and bought a katana. Fueled by rage, that was the only thing she could come up with at the moment. So she decided to give herself another week to refine her plan alongside the katana. At home, she typed the query, "How to kill someone with a sword," into a search engine. And unsurprisingly, she received a relatively straightforward answer to her question. At the same time, the girl purchased plane tickets so that she and Alex could embark on their final trip to the Hawaiian Islands. She wrote 2 notes, one for her mother and a close friend, confessing that she was tired of life. She also wrote a note for Alex, but it's unclear when he was supposed to read it and what it contained. The impression was that initially she wanted to do something to herself during the vacation, but how was she planning to get revenge on Alex? Kill him as well? It's possible, especially since she could have taken the sword with her if she had checked it in with her luggage instead of carrying it as hand luggage. However, one evening, Alex returned home around 9 o'clock. He barely paid any attention to his girlfriend and just wanted to go to bed. This triggered emotions in Emily that she could no longer control. Believing she couldn't endure such treatment any longer, she hid the katana on her side of the bed and taped 2 more knives there in case her sword plan failed. After finishing her preparations, she returned to her boyfriend and offered him a drink to help him fall asleep faster. Under the influence of alcohol, when the man fell asleep quickly, Emily hid his phone, without which he wouldn't be able to call for help. Using her own phone as a light source, she illuminated his neck for better visibility, to aim more accurately. She reached for the katana. However, as she prepared to strike, she accidentally hit Alex on the head with the back of the katana, waking him up. Fueled by an adrenaline rush, Alex quickly regained his bearings and began blocking Emily's subsequent strikes with his hands and feet. Finally, he managed to restrain her in a firm grip. In his last moments of consciousness, he cried out that he loved her and couldn't believe she was trying to kill him. Nearly losing consciousness, Alex pleaded with her to call for help, or he would die. Strangely enough, Emily listened. On March 3rd at 1:54 a.m., a dispatcher answered a call from a hysterical girl. She was screaming that she had injured her boyfriend.
911, can I help you?
I just stabbed my boyfriend.
Okay, and tell me what happened. Okay, what?
I stabbed him.
Okay, is he awake?
He's dead. I think he's dead.
Okay, what is your name?
Emily.
Okay, Emily, I need to get some help started. I'm splitting the call. Hold on just one. Okay, Emily, stay on the phone with me just a second, okay? Emily, stay on the phone. I'm splitting it for medical so we can get help started for you, okay?
The dispatcher tried her best to extract any relevant information from her. She asked where the girl had wounded her boyfriend, to which Emily shouted, "Everywhere! Everywhere!" The dispatcher inquired about the whereabouts of the knife. To her astonishment, the girl replied that she had attacked her boyfriend with a samurai sword. The dispatcher urged her to return to the bedroom where her boyfriend was and to check if he was still breathing, advising her to apply bandages to his wounds. But Emily kept yelling that she couldn't go there. There was too much blood. Returning to reality, she realized that her boyfriend was indeed dying. In fact, she thought he might already be dead. Soon, officers arrived at the scene. They entered the bedroom where they found Alex curled up, covered in blood. His body had several life-threatening wounds, including deep gashes on his torso, neck, and the left side of his head. Emily had shattered his wrist, cut his legs, and almost severed 3 fingers on his hand. Alex was rushed to the hospital, and Emily was taken into custody. Tearfully and without resistance, she surrendered to the mercy of the justice system. Her bail was set at $350,000. Doctors counted 26 wounds on Alex's body. He had to undergo 6 major surgeries. They placed 150 staples on him, with 45 of those on his head alone. Yet the medical team performed a miracle and managed to reattach his fingers. Of course, he would have to visit a physical therapist for a long time, but the most important thing was that he survived. This attack generated a lot of attention in the United States and made headlines in many media outlets due to the choice of weapon by Emily, the intensity with which she carried out the attack, and also thanks to Alex's remarkable resilience. He faced a lengthy recovery, but his attitude remained remarkably positive. Just a day after the attack, he humorously asked online if anyone could split an image where both he and Emily were pictured together. It's unclear how he managed to take the attack so lightly, but some of his statements were quoted multiple times by the media, for instance. "I'm just so proud that I got my ass beat by a girl," and "I got my ass beat with a sword, man. I got to give it up for her. I definitely learned my lesson." He adds, "The feeling of when I overpowered her, there's no comparing it. I've played sports, won big tournaments, I've done all that. I've shown tricks on a snowboard. This is better. I overcame someone intent on evil, and I felt that was the right thing. I'd prepared my whole life for something like this." Alex attributes his victory to his habit of competing against other gamers and his love for kung fu movies. He admits that he probably spent too much time in front of the monitor, but claims he never cheated on Emily. "I barely had time for one girl, let alone another," he said. He was just too exhausted to show the love she deserved. He explained that Tinder was indeed on his phone, but he hadn't used it since it became clear that he and Emily were in a serious relationship. Alex even confessed to having a low libido due to fatigue from constant gaming. Perhaps this convinced Emily that she was no longer of interest to him. However, he claims she had baselessly accused him of cheating many times before, even when another girl simply liked his photo on social media. Emily denies all of this. As for the red hairs, they could have been his own from his beard or his dog's fur. In court, Emily had a difficult time defending herself. It was evident to everyone that this was a well-thought-out and planned crime. Emily herself admitted to officers, "I wanted to kill him for cheating. That was my goal." She was found guilty of first-degree attempted murder. She faced a possible 20-year sentence, but due to her lack of prior convictions, Alex's survival, and her own call to 911 for help, her sentence was reduced to 19 years. Alex's family disagreed with this outcome. They believed she deserved a harsher punishment for attempting to kill their son. Emily, on the other hand, argued that her sentence should be shorter due to her history of childhood trauma, which made it difficult for her to build relationships with people. Her psychologist agreed that she suffered from PTSD, but stated that it was not relevant to the case. In the end, the judge ruled that due to the brutality of the attack, she should serve nearly the maximum sentence. She also has to undergo treatment for her mental health and aggression. She is prohibited from contacting Alex or his family and has to pay $30,000 in restitution. As for Alex, his gamer friends created a crowdfunding page for him, raising thousands of dollars for his recovery. He is currently recovering and has mostly returned to his normal life. When asked about his feelings towards Emily, he responds that he hasn't spoken to her since the attack. He acknowledges that she called 911 and saved his life, which means something, but expressing his feelings toward his ex-girlfriend in 2 words is challenging. Regardless, he believes she needs serious help. In his usual playful manner, he adds, "I didn't expect this, but something like this had to happen. She clearly didn't want me to fall into someone else's hands, so she went for the samurai sword."